The news, 3 injured as explosion rocks Port Harcourt APC campaign rally. Two village chiefs, 5 others arrested over terror attack on Edo train station. And ahead of the 2023 general elections, Atiku and Tinubu engage in war of words over health issues and alleged corruption. Hello and welcome to News Now. I am Mary Kanu. Pandemonium broke out at the Rumowoji playground in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, on Thursday, following a twin explosion that rocked the campaign rally of the All Progressives Congress (APC). Publicity Secretary of the APC, Dalinthin Wauju, who confirmed the incident, described it as unfortunate. He also revealed 2 of those injured are women, all of whom were rushed to the hospital for medical attention. And the Edo State government has confirmed the arrest of 2 village chiefs in connection with the January 7 train attack, which resulted in the kidnap of 20 passengers at the Igwe train station in Edo State. Speaking shortly after the State Executive Council meeting, State Commissioner for Communication and Orientation, Chris Nahikare, disclosed that 7 other suspects had also been arrested in connection with the incident, adding that 2 remaining passengers in captivity have also been rescued by security agents.
A success story is the issue of the Igwebe kidnapping. We're pleased to announce that the last 2 victims have been rescued, and 7 people, or 7 suspects in custody, including 2 village chiefs. So we want to thank the press for the support they gave us in the last 1 week, at least, the last 1.5 weeks on this hostage. The way you've managed the information, the way you've reported it, the Edo State government is grateful, and we thank you very much.
And in politics, with just 37 days to the presidential election scheduled for February 25, both camps of the All Progressives Congress (APC) and the People's Democratic Party (PDP) candidates Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Atiku Abubakar have continued to trade words. The attacks heightened over the week, with each calling for the arrest and disqualification of the order over allegations of graft, contrary to the peace accord signed by the respective presidential candidates ahead of political campaigns. Tinubu's camp had said Atiku ought to have stepped down based on issues regarding his health and corruption allegations, alleging that Atiku had committed a breach of the Code of Conduct Act, criminal breach of trust, conspiracy and money laundering. While countering the allegations and attack by Tinubu's camp, the Atiku Okowa campaign organization said Tinubu had no moral standing to put to disrepute the impeccable character and integrity of Atiku. Well, to speak more on this, Dalinthin Agwombo, political affairs analyst, joins me now on the news. Thank you very much for joining me. With the accusations and the counter-accusations from Tinubu's camp to Atiku's camp, do you think there is an outer of truth in some of their words, or would you say they are mere allegations?
Thank you very much. This is an allegation. In law, whoever alleges must prove. It is now left for the security agency and the relevant authorities to investigate these allegations, so that we will now know who is telling the truth and who is lying. But if you ask me, the revelation so far is a good development. The biggest beneficiary in all this is our democracy, the Nigerian people, and of course, P2B. Because these allegations, no matter how you look at it, will affect the outcome of the vote for these 2 candidates. I am sure many of their supporters are very, very discouraged because of what they are hearing. More so when they have not even made any serious efforts to debunk these allegations, especially that of Atiku. And that is how God works. God said he will make a way for you when there is no way. So God is making a way for P2B. If you check very well, he said what?
If you can hear me, well, still on this matter, the presidential candidates, you know, and the national chairman of different parties were made to sign a peace accord, you know, committing themselves to a peaceful campaign for the 2023 elections. Now, would you say the peace accord is just a piece of paper and not a binding document?
It has not turned to violence. It is because there is a law. There is a law against electoral violence. So if any of them want to be violent,
I'm afraid we've lost the connection there, but we'll try to reconnect with Darlington Agomo during the course of the news bulletin. Moving on now to other stories, but still in politics, the Court of Appeal has pronounced Akan Imo Udofia the authentic All Progressives Congress governorship candidate in Akwa Ibom State. A federal high court in Uyo had on November 14 nullified the nomination of Udofia as the governorship candidate of the APC in Akwa Ibom. The judge, Agatha Okeke, ordered the APC to conduct a fresh governorship primary within 2 weeks, but barred Udofia from participating in the new primary. But Udofia challenged the judgment of the lower courts. In its new ruling on Thursday, the appeal court upheld Udofia's nomination, declaring him the authentic APC Akwa Ibom governorship candidate. And President Muhammadu Buhari has extended the tenure of the Inspector General of Police, Usman Al-Khalibaba, to avoid his retirement midway into the 2023 general elections. The Minister of Police Affairs, Mohammed Dingyadi, made this known after the first Federal Executive Council meeting of the year at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Dingyadi, who said Baba already had an appointment letter extending his term in office, added that the Police Act of 2020 had changed the rules for an IGP's retirement. This next report has more details. It is the first council meeting of the year after the last meeting held on December 21st, 2022. In an unusual development, over 20 ministers and their ministers of state are present at the meeting. The meeting is presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo as the President is away attending a forum in Mauritania. The meeting begins and amongst several memos presented and approved are those in the Ministries of Police Affairs, Aviation and Environment. During the briefing, the Police Affairs Minister debunks speculations that the Inspector General of Police will proceed on retirement before the general elections.
By the provision of Police Act 2020, the IG is now supposed to have a kind of 4-year period, and Mr. President has already given him a letter of appointment in that regard. So the issue of IG going out during this election period does not arise.
Council also approved a sum of 1.4 billion naira for the procurement of vehicles for the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project in Ogoniland, Rivers State. Minister of Environment Mohammed Abdullahi, who disclosed this, said the vehicles were required for effective supervision of the projects at polluted sites.
We are going to inspect on a regular basis experts from outside the country. There's a need to provide project vehicles so that they can effectively inspect, supervise, and monitor the remediation exercise. So FEC today approved the sum of 1,354,016,250 naira only.
Presenting his memo, Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika said FAC also approved the memorandum that revised the estimated total cost and augmentation contract for procurement and installation of instrument landing system in the Port Harcourt International Airport, Kano International Airport, and Katsina Airport.
This contract was procured earlier and awarded, unfortunately due to fluctuations in foreign exchange. And of course, the time it took, cost of items have increased tremendously. And that's why we are back in council, revising it with additional 546,109,336 naira and 33 kobo.
While expressing optimism that the Nigerian aviation industry would soon progress into local manufacturing of aircraft, the aviation minister also revealed FAC approved the sum of 2.3 billion naira for the commencement of local assembly of aircraft at Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Zaria, Kaduna State. Mary Kanu, TV360, Nigeria. The disability community, under the aegis of the Center for Citizens with Disabilities, is canvassing a whole-of-society approach to promote disability rights, independent living, inclusion and participation of persons with disabilities in the development agenda. Speaking at the 4th anniversary of the Disability Act with the theme 2023 General Elections and Beyond, Creating the Future with Desire for Citizens with Disabilities, the Executive Director, Center for Citizens with Disabilities, David Anyele, says commensurate sanctions, including fines and prison sentences, should be meted out to those who contravene the Disability Act of 2018.
We are commemorating the passage of the Disability Act. This is the 4th year. We have 1 year remaining for the moratorium to expire, in which we expect all public buildings in this country to be disability friendly. We are also expecting that the awareness around the rights of people with disabilities will increase. We're also believing that the support will go to the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities in order for them to get the resources required to implement and to support government at all levels to ensure that the rights of people with disabilities are protected, people with disabilities are integrated into socio-economic strata of the society.
Provision of making public facilities and buildings more accessible is a key provision of the Disability Act, but it's just one of them. So the government have shown some efforts in terms of making that, bringing that to work, and one of them is with the mandate of the Commission to take that forward. So I think that we've come a long way, but there is still a lot of opportunity for improvement, and part of it is engaging with relevant stakeholders like the Building Commissioner, relevant MDS, to check if there are still public buildings, that have not complied, and put in place an enforcement mechanism to ensure that they are beginning to comply with that provision.
We will continue to support the disability community in their struggle towards the full implementation of the law and full recognition of the rights of persons with disabilities in the country. We do hope that by this time next year, we will be looking at progress, tremendous progress across implementation, especially as that is the year where the moratorium on accessible physical structure ends.
83-year-old Dayo Duyule has emerged the oldest PhD graduate at the 53rd convocation ceremony of the University of Lagos, Unilag Akoka, held on Wednesday. The veteran journalist obtained his doctoral degree in mass communication, along with other 2,000 other graduates who were conferred with postgraduate diplomas, masters and doctorate degrees. The university's Vice-Chancellor, Folashade Ogunshola, described the octogenarian's feat as nostalgic, saying the media practitioner and scholar witnessed the foundation-laying ceremony of the university in 1962. As the reporter, our correspondent, Simisola Adigun, now reports.
The 53rd convocation ceremony of the University of Lagos was a unique event on all fronts. Not only did it coincide with the institution's 60th anniversary, it is also the first to feature only postgraduate students, a necessary move prompted by the prolonged strike actions that paralyzed academic and non-academic activities across federal universities nationwide. Delivering her first convocation speech as the 13th Vice-Chancellor of UNILAG, Professor Folashade Ogunshola thanked staff of the institution for their dedication and commitment to the project of conferring certificates and awards to the 2,251 students despite the 7-month industrial action.
I am grateful for the priceless gift that the university has in you. And I urge you to keep lending yourself to the noble task of taking the University of Lagos to the zenith of excellence. And by doing this, we will improve the development in our country. We will become truly the giant of Africa.
The Vice President also celebrated the oldest graduate, Dayo Duile, who backed a doctoral degree in mass communication. The veteran journalist who covered the opening ceremony of the institution on October 3, 1962, said obtaining the PhD certificate is a dream come true.
For a very long time, I've been having some challenges in terms of being committed to my work, not giving me the opportunity to go and attend. But I kept the idea alive that one day I will go to the university for my PhD. So the opportunity came in 2016 when University of Lagos admitted me for the PhD, and I started the course.
Other graduates say they are fulfilled after beating the odds during the duration of their study, adding that they will create impact with their knowledge.
It's been a little bit hectic, I won't lie. We came into the program sometime in 2018, and it's supposed to be an 18-month program. This is 2023. We had COVID, we had the ASU strike and all the rest. Program that's supposed to be 18 months, and we're spending almost 4 years.
No, I probably would be a lecturer sometime later. I wouldn't know, but I know I love teaching. It must not necessarily be in my department. Yeah, it might be in another circle, but definitely I know that I would teach, I would lecture somehow. And I know that I'm going to be able to impact my generation, positively, because that's key.
The university also conferred 2 gold medal awards on 2 professors, Johnson Olaleru, a celebrated professor of mathematics, and Professor Droni, a celebrated professor in the arts, who, according to the Vice-Chancellor, distinguished themselves in their chosen careers and demonstrated significant contributions in raising the standard of the university. Simisola Atikun, TV360, Lagos.
Well, we'll take a break here, but still to come, Jacinda Ardern to step down as New Zealand Prime Minister. We'll bring you details of the story and more right after this break. Welcome back. A recap now of our top stories tonight. No fewer than 3 persons have been injured when a twin explosion rocked a rally of the All Progressives Congress at the Rumawoji Playground in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, on Thursday. Publicity Secretary of the APC, Darlington Wauju, who confirmed the incident, described it as unfortunate, revealing that 2 of the injured were women, all of whom were rushed to the hospital for medical attention. We also told you that the Edo State government has confirmed the arrest of 2 village chiefs in connection with the January 7 train attack which resulted in the kidnap of 20 passengers at the Igwe train station. Speaking shortly after the State Executive Council meeting, State Commissioner for Communication and Orientation Chris Nehikare disclosed that 7 other suspects had also been arrested in connection with the incident. In case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, on Facebook at TV360 Online. President Xi Jinping has said he is concerned about the virus situation in the Chinese countryside as millions of people head to rural hometowns ahead of the upcoming Lunar New Year celebrations. In a series of calls ahead of the holiday, the Chinese leader told local officials he was worried about the situation in the country's rural hinterlands. The Chinese leader also defended his zero-COVID policy lifted last month after crippling the economy and sparking nationwide protests, saying it was the right decision. We'll take another break and return with business stories. Stay with us. In business, the federal government, through the Nigeria Mining Cadastre Office, says it generated 14.59 billion in 5 years from 2018 to 2022. Director General of NMCO, Obadiah Nkom, said this at the 63rd session of the State House Ministerial Briefing organized by the Presidential Communications Team in Abuja. According to Nkom, the agency in 2018, 2019 and 2020 generated 1.55 billion naira, 2.38 billion and 2.57 billion naira respectively, adding that 100% of the agency's revenues are sent to the Treasury single account of the federal government.
The revenue generation, yes, is key because if you look at the aspect of revenue generation, we've had to be able to now ensure that we improve on it. And that is why, as you are very much aware, we had an 86% increase in revenue in 2001 compared to the periods. And because we were migrating to the new system, we had to do a lot of shutdowns. Because I know maybe there might be questions. Oh, 2021, you had 4.3, and then 2022, it went down. Because we are migrating to the new system, we wanted to ensure that we don't have a system that after 1 day, 2 days, or 1 month, 2 months, we have a problem. So we had to test run it, shut it down at times, do a lot of things, and that is what affected some of our activities in terms of revenue. But I can tell you with the new system, I can tell you without mincing words, that subsequently we are going to have a very good increase, because even as at then, we tend to form over 50%, or about 50% of the revenue of the mining sector. And irrespective of that, what are the components, what are the things that we use to receive? In fact, in our revenue generation, it's nothing but application fees, processing fees, and then annual service fee, which one can call it like ground rent.
We'll take a break and return with stock market report. The Nigeria Exchange Limited recorded gains on Thursday as the all-share index inched up to 0.02% to close at 52,626 basis points. Our overall market capitalization value closed at 28.7 trillion naira. 111 NGX listed equities participated in trading, ending with 25 gainers and 16 losers. International Energy Insurance and Computer Warehouse Group led the gainers with 13 Cuba gains. Data from the NGX shows volume value and deals recorded a decline as 129 million volumes of shares exchanged hands in 3,183 deals valued at 1.81 billion naira. A switch to some of our global stocks. The FTSE, Dow Jones and Nikkei are leaving a trail of bearish trades as they trade down as concerns linger about persistent inflation in Britain and the US. That's the stock market report. Now on the global scene, Jacinda Ardern has resigned from her role as Prime Minister of New Zealand. Ardern made the announcement on Thursday at the annual caucus meeting of the ruling Labour Party, saying she no longer has enough in the tank to lead. In an emotional speech, the 42-year-old said she had taken time to consider her future over the summer break, hoping to find the motivation to continue her job. She also said leading the country had been difficult, adding that the effort required of the job was not worth the cost. And a man from the Caribbean island of Dominica says he survived 24 days lost at sea in a sailboat by eating ketchup before being rescued in Colombian waters, the country's naval authority has said. 47-year-old Elvis Francis said he had the word help carved on the hull of the boat when he was found 120 nautical miles northwest of Puerto Bolívar in the northern department of La Guajira. Francis said he had no food, only a bottle of ketchup, which he mixed up with some water to survive 24 days in the sea. He further revealed he was rescued by an aircraft crew as they informed the Navy, who then rescued Francis with the help of a merchant ship. And now in sports, the Flying Eagles of Nigeria will tackle Zambia in 2 exhibition matches ahead of this year's Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations. The 2 matches are built to take place on Friday, January 27th and Monday, January 30th, 2023, respectively, in Abuja. The Flying Eagles have since been in camp and played 2 friendly games, winning both games and scoring a total of 11 goals as they continue to intensify preparations for the tournament. The lad and Bosses side have been drawn to face host Egypt, Senegal and Mozambique in Group A of the Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations, taking place from February 19 to March 11. Well, that's a package this evening. Thank you for watching. I am Mary Kanu. Bye for now.